Hi everyone, Mrs. Kaplan here with an explanation of our next writing assignment. For Macbeth, you will be writing a 5-paragraph essay, and in that 5-paragraph essay, you will be analyzing a character's emotional state by analyzing the author's craft. What that means is you'll look at a soliloquy and decide how Shakespeare has decided to demonstrate a character's particular emotional state. You'll be getting a direction sheet that looks like this, so let me take you through these directions. In a soliloquy, a character expresses his or her private thoughts, typically at a moment of great stress or in a conflict. In a 5-paragraph essay, you need to analyze the character's emotional state. To do that, you need to evaluate the author's word choice, imagery, syntax, that sentence structure, or any other elements that reveal the character's state of mind. You use your pre-writing worksheet and the following list to help you write your paragraphs, but make sure that your writing forms a cohesive response. This is not just a summary or a paraphrase of the soliloquy. We've worked on that in class. We know what the soliloquy is saying. Your job in this essay is to figure out how Shakespeare goes about saying it. Now, these directions mention a pre-writing sheet. The pre-writing sheet will look like this. When you analyze a character's speech, you do more than just summarize or paraphrase what the character says. For an analysis, you need to go deeper by critically examining how the author's choices impact the overall meaning. Doing so will reveal a deeper understanding of the character. But that begs the questions, how do you do this level of analysis? What do you need to look at? How do you pick these things out? And really the question you're asking there is, what is a close reading? So what is a close reading? You will be practicing close reading in class, but I thought it was worthwhile to have a quick overview, another explanation, another set of examples to sort of help you out as you're working your way through this assignment. So when you're doing a close reading here, it's a look at the author's craft, not just what the text says, but the way in which the author goes about saying it, how the author makes that happen. So you're really looking here at author's intent. It's a deeper look at not just what a character says or does, but why an author chose to have a character do or say a particular word or a particular phrase, how those small-scale details impact the larger understanding. So think of this as like looking under the hood of a passage or a poem to see how it all works together. When you're discussing what a passage means, there's several different layers here. You've got that basic surface comprehension, summarizing, recall level, which is, I think, where everybody is as far as most of these soliloquies are concerned, to a more rhetorical level where you understand a little bit about how it is put together, and then down to a connotative level where you understand why a particular word was chosen for a particular instance. Your job with this essay is to uncover all of those layers to look at how the author, in this case Shakespeare, created that meaning. So this most likely means that it's more like a close rereading of a passage. You'll have to read a passage many times before you can make meaning for all of these different levels. And so then that brings us to our next question. What is meaning? What goes into it? Many different things. These are just a few examples. Tone goes into meaning. Mood goes into meaning. Symbolism, patterns, contradictions, connections. If these are starting to sound familiar to you, for those of you who know what they are, these are the signposts. All of this goes together to create meaning, and all of it goes together to create meaning on many different levels. Okay, so here are your steps. Your first step is what the text says. This is your basic comprehension and your overall summary. This is a lot of what we've been accomplishing in class. Then step 2, think of this like a microscope where you're zooming into small scale details, where you've picked out an individual word or a single example of figurative language and looked at why that word or why that simile or why that metaphor was used at that particular instant. Then step 3 is to now zoom back out to look at the larger implications of that particular word choice and that particular piece of figurative language and how it fits into the whole picture of the text, the particular soliloquy that you're working with, and then also the larger play that you're working with. These 3 steps are what take place as part of your pre-writing stage. So this is what your pre-writing worksheet will look like. You can see up here you've got your summary. That's step 1, that basic understanding of what the text says. Then you have your examples from the soliloquy. That's step 2, those small scale details, individual word choice. And then you have the implications of those small scale details. And that's step 3, how it fits into the larger meaning of the soliloquy, which then fits into the larger context of the play. If you want an example of a think aloud that walks you through these steps, the other video that I have posted uses the dagger soliloquy, which is the soliloquy you cannot use for this essay assignment, but the think aloud will help you get an idea of really what's expected as far as this portion of the assignment is concerned. So then, once you have this done, how does this translate into an essay? So you'll take a look at your pre-writing and you'll look through all of those examples. If you have it done correctly, you should have at least 6 different examples, and you'll look for 3 of them, 3 of the 6 that are somehow connected. What kind of pattern is there? What kind of common thread or similarities? You figure out what those 3 are that are connected, and from there you figure out what their connection is, and you use that pattern to write both your thesis that combines Shakespeare's intent with the character's emotional state. I'll have this posted elsewhere, but this is how you write your thesis statement. You take a combination of what the character is experiencing, the emotion that the character is experiencing, and then you combine it with the way that Shakespeare demonstrates it. So maybe it's through 3 different examples of figurative language. Maybe it's through 3 particular examples of specific word choice. You'll have to figure that out based on what your pre-writing worksheet looks like, and this is something that we can help you with. We'll be workshopping these thesis statements, but this gives you a general idea of what you're looking for. Look for this slide posted elsewhere on Google Classroom. So once you have your thesis statement written, that goes into your introduction, then you're going to use those 3 examples that you picked for this pattern up here. Those 3 examples will each become a body paragraph. And I know it seems right now, how in the world are you going to be able to write an entire paragraph about a single word or about a single image or a single metaphor? But trust me, you can. For each of the body paragraphs, in addition to your topic sentence, like any kind of good essay paragraph writing, you'll have the example, you'll explain that surface meaning, and then you'll go into your analysis, the connotations or the implications of that example, and then you further connect it to the emotional state. Let me show you an example. So here's a body paragraph that I wrote for my essay on the dagger soliloquy, the soliloquy that you cannot use for this essay. I'll have this posted on our example board in the back of the room, but I wanted to walk you through this body paragraph so you see that you can, in fact, write an entire paragraph about one word. So I have a topic sentence here. There's my transition word that lets you know that I'm moving from one idea in the paragraph before to a related but new idea in this body paragraph. Here's the word that I've chosen, the word marshals. I've given the quote, I've cited it. I have defined the word. I've provided a little of a context or a connotation, but I've defined the word, and now I'm into my analysis by using this word Shakespeare. Remember, we're focused here on Shakespeare's intent, is to demonstrate several aspects of Macbeth's subconsciousness. He's using the word marshal as if the dagger is leading him to the act of murder. I think we talked about that in class, as if the dagger is in control of him. So I've developed that idea a little bit more with this sentence. And then I've gone another level deeper. We talked about how this dagger was a hallucination, a creation of Macbeth's mind. So it's as if his mind is ordering him to the king's chamber for the murder. But by having the dagger show him the way, not by taking the lead himself, by having the dagger be in charge, Shakespeare is showing that Macbeth has not consciously accepted his responsibility for the murder. So you see how that works? I have my example here. I have my basic surface level understanding. And then I have my deeper analysis. I hope that helps explain it to you. I hope another explanation or another set of examples will be of assistance. And if you have watched this all the way through, send me a message with the word microscope, and I will give you a bonus point.